everyone, I'm Mine, and this is set number 71458, Crocodile Car from the LEGO Dreamzzz theme. This set contains 494 pieces, 3 minifigures, as well as 2 minifigures, and it will retail for $59.99 in the US, as well as $62.99 in most places in Europe. This set does not officially release until August 1st, 2023, but it was sent to me early by the LEGO Group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. Every LEGO Dreamzzz set includes some sort of alternate build, and I will be covering both builds in this video. So make sure to watch all the way through if you want to see how the different builds look. Also, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let me know in the comments which LEGO Dreamzzz set you want to see an early review on next. I'll be doing early reviews of all the LEGO Dreamzzz sets, so I'm going to be doing the most requested ones first. So make sure to let me know which ones you guys want to see. But now let's get into the review. So here's the Crocodile Car, and this guy is so incredibly goofy. I absolutely love this build. It's literally a crocodile with the body of a car. I love how LEGO Dreamzzz as a theme has given LEGO the opportunity to create these like really wacky builds, because this is just so creative and so much fun. Starting at the head of the crocodile, it's of course built in 2 sections, the top of the head and the bottom of the head, and each of those jaw parts can hinge open, so you can have the mouth super wide open like this, or something a bit more tamed down. The bottom jaw uses bright yellow, which is typically a very bright and flashy color, and it definitely is. However, it's used exclusively in the undersides of this build, so personally I feel like it works. The crocodile has this giant orange tongue right here, and there's some sticker pieces in the back to add some texture. And then of course there's teeth pieces at the front. There's a little pink piece at the bottom of the upper jaw, and then looking at it from the sides and from the top, you can see these eye pieces right here are actually printed parts. All the other texturing, such as the scales at the top, are stickers. But yeah, that's the same printed part on each side for the eyes, and I think that's great. I love how triangular the crocodile's nose becomes towards the front, and then he's got like little exhausts at the front right here which tie into the whole car aspect too, which that's a very cool way to bring things back around. I will say I do wish the bottom jaw was maybe a little bit more in line with the top jaw. From certain angles, the size and shape just seems maybe a little bit too different. However, that's not the biggest deal, and especially when you have the crocodile's mouth open, it doesn't really make a difference. Then coming to the actual car body of the vehicle, you can see there's 2 headlights on each side, and right now those are mostly covered by the crocodile's face. However, they'll become more prominent when we take a look at the alternate builds in this set. And yes, alternate builds. There is more than one alternate build technically, because you could rebuild this into a truck with a creature inside, but also just rebuild it into a normal truck that doesn't have any creature at all. But anyway, looking at the side of the car, you can see there's a few stickered parts right here. There's like this vent with this blue goo coming out of it, not sure what that's meant to be. But then we also have printed Dream Chasers logos right here with a little hourglass, and that's a pretty cool new part to get. It doesn't come in a ton of sets this wave. The base of the car uses like the Speed Champion's 8-wide chassis piece. And then on the top of the car, you can see there's a sticker piece that has another one of the silver vents, as well as some stickers that say Monster and Yo. That Yo sticker is in a lot of different sets. If you want to get access to the interior, you simply just take off the windshield right here. There's no like working doors or anything. And there's a look inside. You can see there's room for 2 characters to sit, presumably Cooper and Logan. There is this big old Tactic piece in the center, so that forces you to have one of the minifigure's arms up, which is a little unfortunate, but it doesn't affect things too much. And you can see on the other side there's actually a jumper piece in there. Now if you want to just sit a normal minifigure in there, you could very easily just remove that. But the point of the jumper piece is to actually fit a minifigure instead. So for example, Logan that comes in the set could just sit on top of there like this, and that way now both characters are in the car together. Another pretty cool detail in this build is obviously Cooper's supposed to be like a race car driver. That's the entire idea behind his outfit. So he also comes with a racing helmet in this set. And the car actually includes a place to keep it. There's this little bar piece right here that you could just sit in on top of. So even when Cooper's not wearing the helmet, you could store it in there. And then here's how the car looks closed up with both figures inside as well as the helmet. Then towards the back we have these 2 red sort of winged pieces as well as this Tactic build right here. And if you push in on this, that's what the Tactic beam in the center of the car is for, and that actually shoots a disc out of the disc shooter in the front of the truck. So that'll come out of the crocodile's mouth. Let me show you that right now. And there you go, you can see it's just these solid blue disc pieces, and there's where you can reload them inside the crocodile's mouth. The crocodile has these tiny little limb pieces with claws on the end. The ones at the front use the new rounded ridge joint pieces, and then those connect to a pipe piece. And then it's the same exact foot design for the forward and back. For a crocodile who's meant to have really tiny legs, there's still a pretty good range of motion here. These are of course rigid Tactic joints, so you can move them up, move them down, spin them a full 360. But then the pipe pieces on the end are also able to swivel, so that gives you even more options. And then the feet themselves are on mini ball joints. The back does not use the pipe pieces, so the posability is a little more limited, however it is still quite similar. Rigid Tactic joint has the same range of motion you'd expect, and there are stickered pieces back here with more of those scales, and I think that looks great. But once again, the feet are connected on mini ball joints, and they're the same exact design. You can see that everything's exactly the same on the other side too. On the back of the car, there's 2 clip pieces where you can hold on to minifigure accessories while they're not being used. And then of course we have a big giant crocodile tail coming out the back. You can turn this little gear piece right here to spin it back and forth, and you can also lift it up a little bit if you want, though most likely gravity will bring it back down. This is a tail technique we've seen many times before, including on like dragons and snakes and ninjago, but it is a very effective one, and it's so much fun just to swing it around, and that way you can hit bad guys and whatnot. The back of the tail uses this all new blue blast piece. These come in quite a few sets this wave, but they are all new for this wave, and I think those are a super cool part. It's dual molded in trans blue and just solid blue, and those 2 look really good together. But I think that's about all I have to show you for the main build of the Crocodile Car. Of course, I still have the alternate builds to show you, but before we get to them, let's take a look at the side builds that come in this set. So there's 2 side builds in the set, one for each of the villains in this set. The first one's this bike right here for the Night Hunter. I absolutely love how this looks. You can see there's like these sticker teeth at the front, which is super creepy, 2 stud shooters, which of course could shoot studs out. But then the handlebars have these pink flames coming off of them, and they also use the classic LEGO wing piece in trans pink as well. You can see there's a printed console piece right here with like a speedometer and whatnot. And then of course this is where the Night Hunter slots into the vehicle. There's how he looks actually riding it. And then there is also one more seat at the back of the bike, and that's a place to keep kidnapped dreamers. So for example, Jayden in this set, there's how he looks dozing off on the back of the bike. And then the other side builds a much smaller bike for Snivel, but I think this fits it perfectly. Again, I love the fire pieces coming out the back, and this is just so adorable seeing how tiny this is. These two together are awesome. I really love them. But now really quickly I want to take a look at the instructions that come with this set, because all the LEGO Dream sets come with like these illustrated instructions which I think look incredible. And like, look how goofy the Crocodile Car looks here. I love him. And the way like Snivel's falling off the bike too. Everything in here is color coded, and there's little illustrations of things all throughout as you build stuff. Now the first 3 bags of the set will build you just the base form car, and then when you get to bag 4 you have to choose whether you want to build a Crocodile Car like we just saw, or the alternate build where it's just like this turtle monster thing inside the truck. So now let me take this build apart and show you what this build looks like put together. Before I show you the full out build though, here's a look at like the base form of this build. And this is potentially worth displaying on its own as well. Obviously you'll have a lot of leftover pieces if you choose to keep the set like this. But yeah, this is just sort of a normal monster truck race car thing. No animal parts anywhere in sight. In terms of the build, it's literally exactly the same as what we just saw with the Crocodile Car, except all the crocodile pieces are missing. And then it's just got 4 wheels tacked on. But yeah, it just has like its own standard little car. This is fun to roll around. I do think it actually looks pretty good. But personally, I much prefer the wackier build, so I'm going to take apart all the crocodile parts and rebuild this into the alternate build. And here's a look at the alternate build of the truck, where you can see the giant crocodile face is gone, and instead there's just sort of a creature living inside the front of the truck. Definitely have to say, I prefer the crocodile version, but this is very different at least. You can see at the front that disc shooter is still there, but it's in the center of this like giant mouth with these 4 teeth at the top and even more at the bottom. And these are able to be articulated individually. You got 2 different parts up here that can be moved, and then this whole big section of the bottom can be moved. So there's the mouth kind of closed up, looks a bit strange, but it is an option you have. However, personally, I think it looks better like this. The crocodile's eyes are just sort of on the side here now, and they're just popping out of the build. That feels a little bit uncanny to me, and not sure if I love that. And then you have these 2 rigid Technic joint pieces, which are typically used for limbs, however, they're just meant to be sort of like exhausts here. That's pretty cool. This build feels more like a proper monster truck than the other build, because the other one's literally just a crocodile with a car for a body. So if you want a more vehicle-like build, this is definitely the better option. But personally, I prefer the goofiness of the crocodile. You've also got an engine bursting out right here with even more exhaust. And then now there's thrusters at the very back too. You can see they use the stickered pieces with the crocodile scales on them, and there's little teeth pieces on them too. But then we've got 2 of those giant blue blast pieces coming out the back. So of course you can imagine those propelling the truck forward. This like open area at the very back of the truck's been filled in with blue pieces too, and you can see there's tiny little taillights back there. But yeah, then it's just the same car body. So yeah, as I said, personally I prefer the crocodile car because it's just goofier and more fun. I've gotten LEGO monster trucks before. I've never gotten a crocodile car before. However, if you prefer a more standard car, and that's standard in quotes, this might be the better option for you. Because unlike the crocodile car, this is actually a car. It's just a car with a creature built into it. However, that's not everything with the alternate build, because the alternate build also has a side build of this little tiny boat. This of course uses the jaw of the crocodile, and there's really not a ton to this. Like, it doesn't use all too many parts. There's a little jumper piece right there for Logan to stand, and they use a few of the stickered pieces. But yeah, this is like a fun way to use the alternate parts if you do choose to make the alternate build, but it really isn't anything spectacular. It's just a couple parts thrown together. But I think that's all I've got to show you with the builds of this set, so now let's take a look at the minifigures, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts. So here are the first 2 full minifigures in the set. We have Cooper and we have Jayden. Cooper is of course a part of the main cast of LEGO Dreamzzz, and he's got a really interesting outfit, very different from all the other ones. He's in this sort of like red racing suit, but he's still got the Dream Chasers logo in the center, and then like this checkerboard design on the sides, and I really like this dark red that runs down the center too. And in fact, the printing on his shoes is really nice as well. He uses the LEGO Batman movie belt piece in blue, which is a really cool color for that part. And he also comes with an alternate helmet piece if you want that on him instead of his hair piece. There's how that looks. You can see it's like the Iron Man helmet piece, though obviously with different printing. And it's got like this blue screen on the front of it that almost looks like it has a little hourglass right there, which of course ties in with everything with this theme. But yeah, I think this is a super cool outfit. Out of like all the main character minifigures of LEGO Dreamzzz, Cooper's probably my least favorite one, but that doesn't make him bad by any means. I just don't think he's as interesting as some of the others. His accessories are this red hammer build as well as this hourglass piece, which of course comes in pretty much all the LEGO Dream sets. And then his back torso print's pretty good too. I actually like the little white streaks that he has going on. His hairpiece is of course the Ninjago movie J hairpiece in bright yellow, which is an awesome new recolor for that part. And then his face print's pretty solid, very interesting expression with just like the tiniest little smirk. And then his alternate face, he's like asleep and yawning. There's a full look at his torso print as well as his hip printing if you're curious, and there's a better look at the full back torso print too. And then Jayden, of course, is not nearly as interesting. He's just a kid in pajamas, but I do like the design of his torso print with all the little unicorns on it. Turning him around, of course, that continues around the back. And then he's got an all new face from where he has a retainer in, and turning him around, he has an alternate face where he still has that retainer in, but now he's sleeping. This guy comes in like 3 sets this way, which is surprising considering like how unimportant of a character he is. Before just like a relatively generic character, I actually think is pretty good. And then here's our first minifigure. When I say mini, I mean it's between the scale of a microfigure and a minifigure, and this is of course the Dreamworld version of Logan. This design is very, very strange to me. He's just blue and he's got this little angry face and he's got like little bits of fur right there. And then he uses the LEGO Batman movie Joker hairpiece in black, which is a really good part. But yeah, this is just a really wacky looking design. It's wacky in the show too. And you can see it just comes with like a hockey stick as its accessory. Removing his hairpiece, there's a full look at that face print. And then turning him around, he does have an alternate face where he just has like this really wide smile. Personally, I don't think that one's nearly as good as the other face, but I am glad that you have two options there. And then here's our final minifigure, the Night Hunter, as well as our final minifigure, Snivel. The Night Hunter has an awesome design. He uses this all-new hat piece that has like a glowing yellow eye at the front, and just looking at it with a 360 spin, that looks incredible. I like the little divots on the side to make it seem a little bit run down, and you can see the top of it's kind of falling apart too. And then to tie in with that, he has this all-new scarf piece that just has like a shadowy hand coming off of it. That's super creepy as well, and I love it. But then his torso print has like this black jacket and all these silver chains running all over it, and then he's got a white shirt on underneath that has like these magenta arrows drawn on it. Very similar design continues into his leg print with more of those silver chains, and it even continues onto his shoes. And then taking a look at his back torso print, you can see there's even more of those chains right there, and that connects to this giant eyeball in the center, which you can see a little bit better if I take that scarf piece off. In terms of accessory, he comes with this brick-built crossbow, and that uses one of those printed eyeball pieces at the front, which I think works perfectly. His face print is the same one that they use for the generic Grimmspawn figures. Obviously, the unique Grimmspawn like this guy right here get unique faces, but yeah, this is just the generic one. However, I think it works for this guy because he's normally covered up by his mask and everything, so he certainly does not feel like a generic villain. But yeah, amazing design all around, some really cool parts here too. I feel like you can make some really wacky customs with these pieces. And then Snivel is really weird. He uses the Thanos Big Fig head, so his head is gigantic, even bigger than his torso, and he's got like this fuse coming out of it because his head is basically meant to be like a bomb. You do get this trans pink fire piece here, which is an awesome recolor, and then of course he's got one of those yellow glowing eyes in his torso too. That face print is really creepy with just that gigantic mouth. And then turning him around, you can see there's no back torso print or anything, but he just uses the Ninjago Legacy Skulking armor. Once again, these two are both great inclusions, and I'm very happy to get them in this set. The Night Hunter especially is super cool. And so, overall, what are my thoughts of this set? I do like this set, but I will say this is probably one of the more skippable LEGO Dream sets. For one, most of the Dream sets are actually a fairly good price, but this is not one of them. This feels like it should be a $50 set max. $50 would have been perfectly fine, but $60 is just asking a little bit too much. It's a nice way to get Cooper, Logan, and the Night Hunter for cheap if you're a fan of LEGO Dreams, but if you're just looking for cool LEGO sets, I think there's probably better options out there. I do like how there's 3 proper builds of this set though, that's very fun. If you're looking for just like a lot of fun for your money, this might be worth it because there is just so many different ways you can rebuild this. But then at that point, you might as well just buy a Creator 3-in-1 set, right? So yeah, this is very silly and goofy in the best way possible. But given the scale and the price, I don't know. If you choose to pick it up, I don't think you'll be disappointed. But if you're only going to be getting like a set or two from this theme, I think there's probably better options out there. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let me know in the comments which LEGO Dream set do you want to see an early review on next. But as for this video, I think that's about all I have to say, so thanks for watching everybody, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!